Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
And I'm Justin.
How are you, Justin?
I'm doing well. It's a new year.
It's a new us.
Yeah.
Exactly. We've started doing the video recording on things so you can see our lovely, luscious beards and hair. See, it is true, I am hairy. That's what Justin looks like. That's what I look like. That's what the room that we record looks like.
This is what posters look like.
Yeah, posters. Very important. You're not a professional YouTuber if you don't have, like, at least exactly 4 posters. We haven't done a comments video in about a month's time.
Yeah.
Since then, we've had a lot of new subs. We've had a lot of videos that were very sort of talky and discussion-y. We talked about whether the prequel ship should be in the game of X-Wing.
You and Matt talked about episode 8.
Yes, did a little review on that. We had a video on the ships that we wish for in X-Wing.
Yeah.
And we had a few videos on new ships to buy in if you're a new player, based on what faction you want to play in. Yeah. Which was really interesting. Had a lot of really good feedback from all of those. So, let's take a look at your comments. Okay, so the first batch of comments we have is from the video where we discussed whether or not prequel content should be in the game of X-Wing. What's the first comment, Justin?
So this is from Jason Corley. Short answer, no. Long answer, nope.
Nice and succinct. I like it.
Yeah.
And he agrees with me. That's why there's comments on this video. Next comment.
Secretrace? Ooh, Naboo fighters would be dope. I think back into entering the secret code for it on N64 Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. I didn't play much Rogue Squadron as a kid. I had a PlayStation.
I had a PlayStation as well.
I've played a bit since because now it's available on a couple of different online platforms, including Steam, I think, and Good Old Games, or maybe it's just Good Old Games. But yeah, Rogue Squadron's awesome. I think it's a lot of influence for the way we think about what we want in X-Wing for a lot of people. A lot of people around our age love Rogue Squadron. And the Naboo Starfighter. A lot of people talked about the V-Wing or the E-Wing, I think. I think both. Yeah, well, I think they were both in Rogue Squadron from memory. And yeah, when we did that video talking about what we want, people were like, "Oh, the V-Wing! That's got to be in the game too. Don't you remember the V-Wing?" I'm like, "No, I didn't play Rogue Squadron as a kid. Sorry, man." Anyway, let's move on to the next comment.
Lolzy King, how about more Old Republic ships working its way into all 3 factions? And droid ships being any faction ship.
Yeah. So basically we're talking about sort of Old Republic ships, the way they're being used now, where like the ARC 170 is just in the Rebel faction. Or perhaps when you say Old Republic, you mean Old Republic, like the old YT phrase and stuff from the prequels of the not the Old Republic, that kind of stuff. Yeah. I know someone else was commenting, oh, why don't we have YT freighters and we have like Karth and the other characters from the Old Republic in that. That'd be cool. It wouldn't make any sense in terms of consistency and fluff on the table. You're fighting against a man who has been dead for thousands of years, but still cool. Still cool. I guess at the end of the day, whatever's cool is good. I don't question it if it's cool.
Yeah, okay.
And now we have a very, very long comment from Mr. Vendor Valors. Vendor Valors, thank you for your comment.
Right now, there are plenty of ways to do in that would feel wrong to some people. I think that sooner or later Disney is going to release another Star Wars movie within that period of time. When that time comes, there will be plenty of reason to pick from these ships in a way that feels right. I, for one, would like all of those ships in the game, whether they have a good reason to be there or if they are done right now. I just want the ships and to play with them. I can see why many don't want for these ships to be brought in with no logical reason, or if it is not done in a way that makes sense. So I am willing to wait until such a time that Fantasy Flight can do it in a way that feels right to most of them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There are ships that we want in the game, but it wouldn't make sense for them to be there alongside the other ships that already exist. It's interesting.
I agree 100% with this, and that's why I love the idea of the CIS, but it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of weird having the CIS find the First Order and that kind of stuff. And I guess we make an excuse for the old trilogy and the new trilogy because New Order and Empire and Rebel and Resistance are similar enough and are pretty much an evolution of that original concept in the first place. If Darth Vader or Winterfell were still kicking around in the time of the Third Era, they would fly on the First Order.
Definitely.
Because that's what they are morally aligned to. And it gets a bit more hazy when talking stuff beforehand. I mean, Anakin Skywalker in his Jedi Starfighter, like how would that fit into the context of these newer ships? I don't really know.
No.
It is a bit... It's one of the more awkward parts of this. And I just want to say before we move on to the next bunch of comments, a lot of you guys were saying, hey, if we do this, maybe that should be a separate game or a separate format. And I get that. I get where you're coming from with this.
Yeah.
I still think if that were to happen, and we even looked at having the Third Era as its own quote-unquote format, and we had First, Original, and Third Era... we could then think about having those formats and a separate format for everything, like a legacy format or something like that.
Yeah.
Which would be really sick. Basically, which is what we're doing right now, where everything in the game of X-Wing can be played in the same format and is played in the same format. Which would be interesting. It might be overly complex. I have talked about this in other videos. I do like the idea of having formats with a smaller pool of ships because that makes it more accessible for new players, whilst the older players like us can just play the format with everything and just learn it because that's what we like to do.
Yeah.
But it is good food for thought. And yeah, you make a very good point. This is an issue that we didn't discuss, and I think it's something that if this is going to be implemented, FFG have to think about. Anyway, let's move on to the next stuff. We had a little video just after Christmas. Actually, no, just posted the other day. We recorded just after Christmas, or just before Christmas, or around about Christmas. And it was our wish list of things we want to see in X-Wing. Not things that we think should be in X-Wing for whatever reason, just ships that we like the look of and we want to see in the game.
Yeah. So the first one is from Kevin Cutter. I think that the Gauntlet Fighter is most likely to appear next. It was just announced for Armada, so it is only a matter of time.
Absolutely. In fact, that happened earlier today. And we recorded this video at least, I want to say about 3 weeks ago now, so we had no way of knowing that. But yes, here on the screen is the card that we've had revealed from the Armada Gauntlet Fighter. This has happened before. Usually when things are in Armada and they are small enough, they will appear in the game of X-Wing. It happened with the Skirg bombers, and fingers crossed it'll happen with the Gauntlet Fighter as well. I was really disappointed we didn't get it a couple of waves ago, but I think it's just a case of Scum don't need another big ship, and they're waiting for a stage of the game where it fits whatever way they've designed it, whenever that will fit into the game neatly.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want to put it in a time where it just breaks the game.
But at the same time, how cool does Concord Dawn look on the back of this picture?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is another thing I want to see. Aside from all the ships, I'd love to see new playmats that don't just take content from the movies. Like Bespin, Death Star, Starkiller Base. They're cool. I like those game mats. But I would love to see a game mat with Concord Dawn. With that broken moon in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. Anyway, sorry, we're getting sidetracked.
Keep going.
Next comment, Justin.
Kai Seegers, what a beautiful beard.
Ah, shucks. Thanks, Kai. That's a very nice comment.
Mine's a bit shorter.
Yours is a bit shorter, but that's okay. They have that comment was not in reaction to your beard.
No.
This video will have tons of great comments about your beard. But below, like, subscribe, and comment on Justin's beard. Very, very important. Let's move on through these comments.
Henry Will says, drinking game for the new year. Take a shot whenever Nick says, design space.
Now, that's a very interesting idea. I like when people think of drinking games and they kind of evolve on the existing design space within drinking games. Look, if we're looking at this kind of design space, I'd also consider, the times I say broken, or the times Justin wants a CIS ship in the game and he talks about that. Look, there's some interesting design space to be explored there, I think is what I'm saying.
I think possibly the next time I say hello.
Next time you say hello, yes.
So that's always a shot at the start.
Indeed, indeed. So in closing, design space, design space, design space. And for those of you who are still alive, here's the next question.
Voice of the Force says,
oh, hello, Voice of the Force. It's nice to meet you.
I want a Sentinel for Imperials in general. I've always loved that shuttle.
Yes, absolutely. We talked about the Last Chance in this video, which is the Sentinel...
Last Hope.
Last Hope, sorry. Last Hope? I thought it was the Last Chance.
No, maybe it was the Last Chance. It was the Last Chance.
It would be Last Chance if it's Hondo Ohnaka.
Yeah. Friends!
My friends! He stole this Sentinel class shuttle, painted a big pirate flag on the side of it, and it looks awesome, and I want it in the game of X-Wing. But absolutely, I agree. If they put the Sentinel class shuttle into the game, they should do it for both Imperial and Scum.
Yeah.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. Give Scum, like, Hondo, maybe have a couple of his like little Ugnaught pirate guys, but give like generic pilots to the Imperials and give them like good efficient options, while give Scum just silly options. Maybe a carrier for Jabba the Hutt and illicit slots, but it doesn't have the same kind of efficiency as the Empire, like most ships are approached with these kind of multi-faction ships.
Yeah. So we've also got one from Gorilla 26.
That's a great name.
The prequel movies might not be that great, but Star Wars Battlefront 2, in brackets the original,
Very important.
yes, proves that they are ripe for use in games.
That's a very good point. We did not discuss this.
Battlefront 2, the original, was the best game.
And look, I don't know about the new one. I from what I can tell, the gameplay looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not into that because of the whole moral implications.
Loot
boxes and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
also, I don't own a console.
yeah, I mean, I could buy my computer, but that whole debacle with EA handling that, I'm not. I don't shy away from the fact I really dislike that kind of stuff in games, and that has like completely shied me away from ever looking at that game, which is a shame because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly the original Star Wars Battlefront 2, guys. If you have never played this game, give yourself a little treat.
Yeah.
Log into your Steam account and download Star Wars Battlefront 2,
You
the original.
will never be disappointed.
Unless EA have pulled it from Steam. They did pull a bunch of stuff from Steam, but I don't know if they have the license for the old ones. Anyway, go find it. It's awesome. It's a great game. Basically, you play... It's like a shooter game where you just have armies fighting each other. You have, like, command posts that you have to capture and spawn troops from.
It's basically what Battlefront is already, but just better.
Yeah, I guess so. It's a bit different. They've evolved on it since then.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the comment itself. We're not just going to fawn over how great Battlefront 2 is. We're talking about how, while we may not enjoy Clone Wars era stuff from the movies, because, look, we don't shy away from the fact either me and Justin are not fans of the prequels for several reasons. But we have to admit, aesthetically, the Clone Wars era stuff is cool, and the way it gets implemented in games is often really fun, this being a great example.
And the Clone Wars TV series is also awesome.
Absolutely. I'm trying to think of other stuff where the Clone Wars era stuff was put into a video game and it turned out really cool. But answer in the comments. Other video games you've played which just shows off this stuff and makes it look really cool.
And does it well.
But if you've ever played Battlefront 2, played as a CIS and used destroyer droids, it's so much fun. You feel like a god.
And you just roll around everywhere. You're just like, yes, I am the greatest.
Lego Star Wars. Lego Star Wars is another great example of Clone Wars era stuff. In fact, Lego Star Wars 3 is based on the Clone Wars TV show. Really good game. Highly recommend it. Okay, we have one last comment, and this was from the video I did on addressing complexity in X-Wing.
Catherine Nixira, regarding point 3, seems FFG is doing that now. I acquired 2 K-Wings recently in the newest reprint, and they included an updated Advanced Slam card. So that helps a little at least. Absolutely.
Thank you for this comment, Catherine. You comment a lot on my videos, and you always have very good points, so please keep that up. But yes, point 3, for those of you who didn't watch that video or don't remember because it was a long time ago, I talked about ways to address complexity, and one of the most important things FFG have to do is in newer reprints of packs, they need to change the cards so they are what the errata states they are. So we don't have cards in circulation that don't do what they say they do. And they've started doing that. The reason I wasn't aware of this is because I didn't get any reprint packs in last year at all. And they made a big deal about when they released the Skik Fighter in the Sea-Rock Cruiser pack. Oh, look, here's an errated card. We're printing it. We're putting it into a new pack. To which a lot of us responded, hey, you should do that in the reprinted packs you do for the old packs. Anyway, and they have started doing that. So already one of the points I talked about, and I know they were doing this at the time I spoke about it. This was a mistake I made.
Yeah.
But it's great to see something I've been thinking about and hoping for a long time has been addressed.
Yeah.
And I hope from that point of view they start to address other things and they sort of curtail complexity those ways. And there's still more they can be doing. There's still more they can do, but this is a great step.
Yeah.
This is very, very important. Just keep things simple. And just on that video as well, I'm not going to hide all these comments here because there was a lot of commenters there, but a lot of people had some very good, just clean solutions, like FFG should offer just a PDF on their website of all the errated cards that you can just print off. And they're tournament legal as long as you have the original, or they're just tournament legal full stop. I think that's a bit awkward because I was talking about how they should reprint errated cards and offer them at your local gaming shops, that kind of stuff. That's awkward with cards like Palp, which only exist in a $150 Australian pack.
Yeah.
I get why there would be trepidation to do that. From that point of view, yeah, I can understand. But at the same time, they did errata the card.
Maybe if they, like, if you can show proof of purchase or something.
Yeah, I agree. But we don't hold on to our proof of purchase stuff. We've never had a reason to up until this point. So it would be a bit unfair for someone who bought it, say, 2 years ago, wanting to do that.
Yeah.
Some people were suggesting, well, let's just get rid of cards altogether and let's just have sort of like a Warhammer style thing where you just like you print off your lists and you have that kind of stuff. I don't love that.
No.
I love how the cards you can just have them on the table. Bam, they're there. It's simple.
Yeah.
It's easy to build lists with the cards you have, and I like that. I think getting rid of that takes away a core element of what not only X-Wing does, but like X-Wing Armada and now Legion. It's a core thing of what FFG do with their Star Wars games, and it's a really cool thing they do.
Yeah, and they do it well.
Absolutely. So I don't agree with that approach. But yeah, someone suggested, and I couldn't find the comment before, but you just take a piece of masking tape, you put it over the front of the sleeve, and you just, in a Sharpie, you write down
what it actually
what
does.
you should do, which can be a bit wordy with some cards. But I guess like with Genius, you can put the masking tape over and go, can't bump, can't bomblet. that kind of stuff. And just like little clues for you to remember that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, I mean, it's great that X-Wing has such a good community where complexity is less of an issue because we discuss things and we talk on forums. I mean, it's so cool for new players. Whenever I see here on my YouTube channel or other YouTube channels or other Facebook groups, people just come on and say, I just started, I want to talk about things. And people are genuinely helpful.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool. And from that point of view, complexity is curtailed by itself. But it's not just what we can do as a community, it's what FFG can do. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for all those awesome comments. As always, keep them coming in. Justin, do you have anything to add at the end of this video?
Like and subscribe, like our Facebook.
Very good point. We will catch you later.
Bye.